Hi guys, it's Mark Zickery, Mr. Sci-Fi, also known as Mark Zickery Space Command, and I wanted to check in with you guys, get some thoughts about the last episode of Westworld I watched, etc. So first of all, the Space Command episode Ripple Effect that we're shooting during the pandemic with our actors shooting their own scenes is going spectacularly well. We've got Armin Shimmerman, Mira Furlan, Bill Mumy, Bob Picardo, J.G. Hertzler, Mike Harney, Christina Moses from A Million Little Things, on and on. It's just Armin Shimmerman. It's an amazing lineup, and we're getting footage in, and it's spectacular. So lots to share with you very shortly. Also, if you haven't seen the full first hour of Space Command, which you probably haven't, definitely check it out. I'm going to be posting it momentarily. And so forth. I mean, we're just crackling along. So, and if you haven't thrown some money our way, and you're watching this and watching Mr. Sci-Fi and watching Space Command, you might think about at least going on Patreon or, one of our other platforms and helping out a little. But but that's your choice. That's your choice. But meantime, let me talk about Westworld a little and compare it with two shows, one of which I'm watching, the other of which I'm making. Here's the thing about Westworld. I watched the first season, really liked it, liked the second season less, and this third season, well, the most recent episode, what happens in it? Okay, there's something that we call vamping in writing television, which is when we're writing an episode and there isn't enough plot really, or enough really happening, you come up with these scenes of talk, of just kind of talking or exposition, or scenes that if you took them out, they really wouldn't change anything. And so this episode had a bunch of that. So for instance, Maeve, they're trying to set her up to go kill Dolores. Okay, that's interesting. But meantime, rather than just setting her on that path and saying, go to it, she's in this weird World War II pseudo-reality, and she just kind of decides, well, I'm going to kill all these German soldiers for no reason, just on a whim. So how does this reflect character? How does this reflect anything? It's just like stuff, okay? It's just stuff to fill the frame. And then you have Ed Harris's character, and it's like he has this weird therapy session with all these other versions of himself, younger, and so forth. And again, it's just kind of like they're just yakking, and then he kills them all with a chair, and so he's both violent, but then says, well, but I've decided I'm the hero and I'm going to save humanity. It's like, what emotional reality does this have any connection with at all? And it's just a head writing. It's just thinking of like, okay, what can we come up with that's clever but not valid emotionally? So, and then beyond that, they've got the other plot line with, we find out that Dolores has put her consciousness in these other duplicates of herself that have different bodies, and of course one of them was, the evil woman working for the bad guys, and now she's trying to save the androids and so forth. But it's like, who are we rooting for? Who do we care about? She's trying to get away with her ostensible kid and her ostensible ex-husband, and they're killed, and the car blows up and she's burnt, and it's like, we don't have a connection to this ex-husband, we don't have a connection to this kid. Why should we like them? Why should we care about them? It's Hale, it's like, well, okay, why do we care about her? I mean, she was sort of awful when she was human. Now that she's Dolores' surrogate, it's like, well, why do we like her? Who are we supposed to be rooting for? I mean, it's like, who's compassionate? I mean, Aaron's character, Aaron Paul's character, we like, he's interesting. But again, they keep doing this weird stuff where it's like, distancing us from the characters rather than engaging us with the characters. And, so again, it's like, but think about it, walk through everyone's motivations. Like, what is Maeve trying to do? Be reunited with her daughter? Well, not exactly, but they're kind of using that as a carrot. But who does she care about? Hector? Well, Hector gets, killed ostensibly in this episode, theoretically. But it's sort of like she was often killing him anyway. So it's like, what does she want? What does she care about? And then Dolores is just trying to, wipe out humanity, I guess, to kill, to have the robots win the day. But again, she's doing it totally ruthlessly with no regard for anybody. And, it's just all these characters who seem very ruthless, very cold. It's like, well, who cares who ends up, owning this corporation? Who cares who owns? It's like they're all, awful, except for Aaron Paul, who cares about Dolores, and he's the one character doing something for someone other than himself. And but okay, so I want to compare with two other shows that are, that do things differently. One is Better Call Saul, which I watched the end of this season, and it's hard to get. It'll be hard waiting until 21 or whatever for the next season. But they have a great skill with having characters who are very screwed up who you still care about. And why do you care about them? Okay, well, for instance, here's Saul Goodman, Jimmy, and he cares about Kim to a point where he's willing to sacrifice his life to try to save her. Kim, we care about her because she loves Jimmy, and she's willing to sacrifice her life to try to save him. Additionally, you have the character of, Nacho, and he's trying to save his father. These are characters who are selfless and care more about other people that they love than themselves, and that makes us as audience members root for them and like them. Same with the character of Mike, and so this is very important, very illustrative. Now, meantime, there's also the first hour of Space Command, which also is about a synthetic, an android uprising. But in that case, Doug Jones, again, is selfless. Bob Picardo cares about Doug Jones. Mira Furlan cares about her daughter, cares about Doug Jones. You have characters who care about each other. And as a result of that, we care about them. And, it's sort of like, as an audience, we root for the person who has an emotional palette that we can identify with. And we're distanced from the ones who are total sociopaths. And so, anyway, so this is just, if you want, so you might want to watch the first hour of Space Command if you haven't seen it, to see what we're doing and if you like it compared to Westworld. And definitely watch Better Call Saul. It's a great show. And meantime, if you want to, contribute to Space Command, we're still selling shares for $7,500 each. We still have a Patreon account going. We're going to be doing another crowdfunding campaign in the near future because we're shooting Space Command. We're ramping up to shoot more Space Command when the pandemic is over. Takes money. So that's about it for now. But thanks for everything, and onward to glory. Take care, guys. Stay safe.